They say the dead are silent. But that's not true. The dead speak all the time, in dreams that leave us weeping, in songs whose origins we don't recall, in footsteps in empty rooms, in instincts that feel ancient, in wisdom that did not begin with us. The dead do not vanish. They linger, not to haunt, but to remind. In ancient times, they believed the dead carried messages, prophecies, that to bury a body was not to bury a voice, but to plant it so it might one day be heard. This is the story of those voices, the ones we call silence, but that were always speaking. Chapter 1. The tomb is not the end. Every tomb is a mouth, carved from stone, sealed with ritual. It is not a prison, but a threshold. In Egypt, the tomb was a portal. In Mesopotamia, a doorway to the netherworld. In Greece, it was a place where memory clung like dust to marble. The ancients did not bury the dead to forget them. They buried them to listen. Stones were placed not just to mark, but to contain the voice, because the soul does not end. When the lungs collapse, it lingers, with something left to say. Chapter 2. The language of the dead. The dead speak a different language, not of nouns and verbs, but of symbols, echoes, and presence. A sudden wind. A bird perched outside your window, staring too long. A dream that feels older than your life. In Rome, the Manes were honored spirits of the ancestors. In Tibet, prayers are spoken not just to the gods, but to the dead. They are not gone. They are changed. And their voices, though softer now, are more persistent than ever. If we forget how to hear them, it is not because they stopped speaking, but because we stopped listening. Chapter 3. The dream as door. The dream is a veil. It does not protect. It reveals. In sleep, the barriers fall, and those who are gone appear, not always with words, sometimes only with presence. The mother you lost, the child never born, the version of you that died long ago. In Greece, dream visitations were sacred. Temples called Asclepions were built not for healing the body, but for dreaming, so the dead could speak and the living could remember. The dream is not illusion. It is memory without time, and the dead walk through it like smoke through morning light. Chapter 4. The forgotten art of listening. We've forgotten how to listen, not with our ears, but with our soul. The dead speak in texture, in atmosphere, in the feeling that something else is present. Ancient rituals taught this art, pouring water for the ancestors, whispering names before meals, speaking to empty chairs, not to pretend someone was there, but to remember they still are. We don't need seances. We need stillness. We need reverence. We need to believe that silence can hold a voice. Chapter 5. The dead as witnesses. In the ancient world, the dead were not passive. They were not memories or shadows. They were witnesses. In every oath sworn, their presence was invoked. In every temple, their names were engraved. The dead were called to see, not as judges, but as those who understood what we forget, that life is sacred, that every act echoes, that nothing is lost. When you feel shame for a thing you thought no one saw, it is not shame, it is memory, not yours, but theirs. The dead remember what we try to erase, not to condemn, but to help us return to the path we once promised to walk. Chapter 6. The voice beneath the voice. Have you ever said something that surprised you? A sentence too wise for your age? A truth you didn't know you knew? That is the voice beneath the voice. The whisper not born in this lifetime. It may be yours, or it may belong to someone long dead, still speaking through you. In Kabbalistic thought, the dead can speak through names, gestures, breath. In African cosmology, ancestors move through blood, through dreams, through rhythm. The dead still teach, still sing, still ache through us. When you feel a truth too deep to explain, that is not instinct. That is inheritance. Chapter 7. Fire keeps memory alive. Fire does not just consume, it remembers. The ancients burned incense to the dead, not to offer fragrance, but to release memory into the sky. They lit flames on tombs, carried torches through the night, because fire, they believed, could carry voices upward. Every funeral pyre was a conversation, not an ending, a message. We still feel you. We still remember. The dead do not fear darkness, but they listen for light. Chapter 8. The silence that grows louder. The longer you live, the louder the silence becomes. Not the silence of emptiness, but the silence of presence, unspoken. Every ancestor you never knew, every love who died without farewell. They do not vanish. They gather, not to crowd you, but to witness your becoming. And sometimes, their silence grows so loud you can almost hear your name, as it was first spoken, long before you were born. Chapter 9. The voice you will become. One day you too will die, but you will not be gone. Your voice will become part of the silence. He sigh in someone else's grief. The line of poetry that comes too easily. The gentle pressure in someone's chest when they're about to choose truth. You will be there, not as a ghost, but as memory in motion. The dead still speak. And one day, so will you. Closing. Reflection. Listening with the soul. The dead do not ask for monuments. They ask for ears, for silence, for recognition. They speak through the fabric of the world, through wind, through fire, through dream, through tears. They are not gone. They are waiting, not to be summoned, but to be heard. If this story found you, it's because someone is still speaking. A voice buried not in soil, but in your own remembering. Listen and speak back. The silence is not empty. It is full of voices.